Welcome to Family Gamer TV. It's here, the release date for Disney Infinity 3.0. We finally got it, the 28th of August in the UK and the 30th of August in the US. And with it, we can start to plan how we are going to buy Disney Infinity 3.0. Now, it's not as straightforward as you maybe first thought, and I've just been looking at it here on Amazon in the UK. Now, these are pound prices, and they will obviously differ to the dollar price, but I think the theory and the explanations I'll be talking through today will hold true. So, how best to buy Disney Infinity 3.0? Well, of course, if you've got a PlayStation 4, you can go for this special edition pack or PlayStation 3. And this comes with a whole bunch of stuff. As you can see, you get both the Rise Against the Empire and Twilight of the Republic playsets. You get Luke Skywalker, you get Princess Leia, you get Boba Fett, and you get Ahsoka, and you get Anakin. Obviously, you get the game disc, and you get the Infinity Pass. You get everything you need. Now, some of this stuff is quite nice because it's not available elsewhere. Now, I'd realised that Boba Fett wasn't available on other platforms. Wasn't available at retail for a period of time. It was going to be until Christmas, but it sounds like it's just a month, so I'm expecting Boba Fett to be released on its own around the 30th, the end of September. But equally, the Rise Against the Empire playset that we see here with Luke and Leia also isn't available independently for a month until after the initial release. So unless you buy this special edition pack, which as we can see isn't the cheapest way to buy it, £104, £105 in the UK, then you won't be getting that content at launch, which I was slightly disappointed about. I feel it's a little bit mean to hold back not only a figure, but also a whole play set for those people who spend a super amount of money. Probably the more standard way to buy the game is the normal starter pack. Now, obviously, that comes with Twilight of the Republic, Ahsoka and Anakin. This year you don't get the toy box mini games built into that pack, but it is a lower overall retail price. So it depends on which platform you're buying it, but the PlayStation 4 seems to be a little bit more expensive in the UK at the minute, along with the Xbox One, and the sort of the previous gen or the Wii U are £5 cheaper. Now, there is another route to go. Now, maybe you don't want to go a Star Wars route for Disney Infinity 3.0. So what you can do is to buy the standalone software here for a different price. You get the disc in the UK. I don't think you can do that in the US, but you can download the game electronically. But currently, there only seems to be an option visible at retail in the UK. If we switch over to Amazon.com, you can see similar set of bundles and packs listed, but that standalone version of Disney Infinity 3.0 is conspicuous, and in that it is not there, it's not listed. So we've been guaranteed or told that we're going to have a downloadable version, not a disc at retail, which maybe explains why you don't see it yet. In fact, if we pop over to Disney Infinity 3.0, the official site, switch over to UK here. So we're in the UK mode, and we've got all the packs listed, some really nice information that tells you all about the different setups. Now, as you can see here, we have that standalone disc available. And what's really nice is if you click pre-order, it tells you where you can go and pre-order it, but also says, do you already own a previous Disney Infinity starter pack? And you can then go off and pre-order that at retail. If you switch over to United States at the minute, as we've done here, you can see that standalone kit isn't available, so you would go ahead and pre-order, and potentially you would end up buying the starter pack, the full pack with the extra base, without really knowing that there was potentially a download version in the works. So how does that work in the UK? Let's check back to Amazon. So you could put together an inside out starter pack, which would be this inside out playset along with, say, the Wii U software download. So here we're looking at about £57, £58 for that combination. It means you don't have to go down that Star Wars route if people in your house for some reason don't want to play Star Wars. It also means if you've already got the base, the Infinity base from last year, you can then buy the standalone version of the software without having to buy a starter pack. and again potentially save yourself some money. Although, do you? Because if you buy, say, the Wii U version, it's £25 for standalone, and then you'd need to buy the Twilight of the Republic playset. That's £30, so £55. Whereas if you had bought the Wii U starter pack together, you'd be paying £45. So you'd be paying an extra £10. So I don't think there's a lot more you get in that starter pack. And also, obviously, you'd have a second base. So I'm not quite sure how the pricing works out there. I'd like to see the standalone software come down in price, and I think we will in good time as well. Now, obviously, as these listings have been updated, we can get a better view of how things are going to be priced and dated for release in Disney Infinity 3.0. We've got the Toy Box Takeover expansion sets here, coming in at around £15, which is kind of more than I thought. I think this is just for one of the expansions. There's some nice pre-orders at some retailers. If you pre-order the starter pack, you get the Toy Box Takeover Toy Box expansion game for free, which is obviously a nice to have. We've got figurines obviously coming in at the standard $14.99, as you'd expect, and that's the first wave one of figures that we now know we've seen a lot of. We have our Power Discs, Rise Against the Empire Power Disc, Rise Against the Empire. It's a nice set of Power Discs. Seem to be listed twice here. I'm not sure if these are two separate packs or whether there's some difference between them. Twilight of the Republic, and of course Tomorrowland as well. So there you go. I think it does need some consideration how you're going to buy Disney Infinity 3.0 and which way you're going to go. Potentially, a nice way to do it is to wait and see. And I think the 3.0 standalone software price, potentially if you're just downloading it, will be cheaper. And if that's true, then you compare it with your favourite playset to then save a bit of money. What I'd like to see is getting those old versions of Disney Infinity to play those old games. I think you can download a version of Disney Infinity 2.0 so you can use the old playsets, but currently you can't download Disney Infinity 1.0 to play some of those great playsets that came out. Particularly Pirates of the Caribbean is one that I'm really keen on. Now, I want to hear how you're going to buy it. I think together we can work out what is the cheapest way to go with Disney Infinity 3.0. What are your tips? How are you going to buy it in your country? How does the dollar price compare to the pound price? And what do you think you're going to do? Are you going to buy that super special limited edition pack, or are you going to go for something a little bit more pedestrian? Leave a comment and we'll obviously be dropping in to answer any of those, but also I want to hear your suggestions as well. Subscribe to the channel because we're bound to have more on Infinity very soon, more on Skylanders Superchargers, more on Playmation, the new Disney Avengers wearable tech, and you should check that out if you've not seen it, and more, of course, more on LEGO Dimensions.